Hi, my name is Lexi Palmer, and this is my presentation on resource management and its effects on the giant panda. Some current concerns for the species are their, in general, small population size, their limited ability to adapt to climate change, the limited ability for their food source, which is bamboo, that makes up 90% of their diet as well, to adapt to climate change, and infringement on their habitats from humans, which includes their areas being used for agriculture, logging, and infrastructure development. A current case study on the giant panda was from the Qingling Mountains in Shaanxi Province. It is currently home to roughly 220 pandas. What they've noted in this study of the area is that pandas need varying elevations to properly function in their natural habitat. They will move from areas where bamboo needs to regrow and become healthy again after being eaten and depleted. They will move up in elevation to different areas and graze on the crops there and then rotate back and forth between these areas. So they do need a variety of places to exist properly in their natural habitat. They also noted that protected areas in that province are very fragmented. It's not one giant preserve, it is a lot of smaller areas, and they're not very well connected. Due to this, less than 50% of their remaining habitat is protected, so in the rest of their natural habitat, they are susceptible to having the areas being taken over for grazing for cattle, other farming, logging, and expanding for people and housing. And they came to the conclusion that we need to expand the protected areas, bridge those gaps, and create a more expansive area so that the pandas have an appropriate area in which to live. So there are definitely several ethical considerations that need to be understood when looking at this. The first is in regards to the pandas. As a species, they have only recently been moved off of the endangered species list into the vulnerable category. This happened in 2016. This is amazing for the species that they're progressing to a point where their numbers are high. They're not quite as at risk of extinction as they were previously, but they're still considered vulnerable. So we need to keep moving forward and make sure that we don't take any steps back as far as preservation of the species. The next stakeholder that we need to keep in mind are the local people and their needs. In China, there's been several natural disasters, including earthquakes, that have caused a lot of alterations to the landscape there. So, for example, tourism used to be quite a big thing in some of these places where the pandas were, and due to earthquakes and different things like that, tourism just has not been what it used to be. So that is not lucrative. It is not supporting people anymore. So the people in those areas need to turn to other means in order to keep their families fed and keep themselves afloat. So agriculture is a really big option here. So having cattle for meat and milk production and crops, all of those kinds of things are super important for the people in these areas, and that is not something that we can take lightly. We need to find a good balance between helping the people and also helping the animals in these areas. And the last consideration here is for the plant life. Pandas rely on a very specific kind of diet and a specific range in which that grows. So looking at that, finding alternative species of bamboo that are more hardy, are more adaptable to different kinds of temperatures and things like that, introducing them, but making sure that it is not harmful to the environment in any way, having these different species. And so juggling sort of the need for more food source for the animals, but also not having negative impacts otherwise in the environment for other species. Some existing policies that help with the giant panda are As I previously touched on, there are reserves throughout the country. There are a total of 13. Within these areas, they are protected. No farming or any kind of infringement can occur inside of these protected zones. They also are monitored by conservation staff. So these staff cover a lot of different jobs. They patrol borders, making sure that there's no one coming into the area that shouldn't be, watching out for poachers and things like that. They also look out for any sick or injured pandas so that they can take them in, get them veterinary care as needed, and return them as healthy as possible back into their environment to help ensure that they are giving the species the best chance that they can. They've also introduced really good captive breeding programs and reintroduction programs for the pandas that are being born in captivity. Something that they need to make sure is being handled properly is having limited human interaction with these animals for rehabilitation or captive breeding. If animals have really strong positive associations with people, that can lead to issues with them when they encounter people in the wild. They're not going to have the natural healthy fear of people, which can lead to them being poached much more easily. Also, if they're heavily involved with the people while they're in captivity, they're less likely to develop the natural skills that they need to survive on their own in the wild, to find food, to find shelter, to find mates, different things like that. So keeping as hands-off as possible is the most ethical way to go about this so that you are setting the animals up for success. If they do not have those skills and you put them out in the wild, they're much more likely to pass away much quicker, and it is not doing the animals any service by having very hands-on interactions with them while they are under your care. China also has very strict protection laws for these animals. There is a minimum 10-year jail time for poachers or smugglers of pandas, and in more extreme cases, the sentence can be life or the death penalty. So they are very firm on protecting these animals and taking a very no-nonsense approach with it. So just briefly, some of the policies that are enacted to protect pandas. There's China's wild animal protection law that was made in 1988. This expanded the protection for a wide range of species in the country, including the giant panda. The next one is the forest law from 1984. This provides ecological protection and management of natural resources in the country. The next one, environmental protection law, was made in 1989. This one touched on controlling pollution, improving public health and ecology in the area. The last one is more specific. It's also in reference to the case study. The Shaanxi Province Regional Law, made in 2007, is based around protecting local panda habitat in the province, as well as working on that, bridging the gap on the fragmented areas. For an improved ethical approach for handling the panda populations, I would recommend using deontology as a lens to frame what policies we use moving forward. We already have really, really good ones in place, but I think looking at it as what is the right thing to do and the ethical thing to do is the best approach moving forward, and making sure that all individuals are having the best chance at survival and not just purely going for quantity or the majority. We also need to take into consideration all stakeholders. This includes the animals, other wildlife in the area, the fauna and flora, as well as the locals and their needs and their crops and their farm animals as well, to make sure that everyone has a balanced stake in what the policies are. We also need to work on involving the community so that they're getting involved and being a part of the action that's taking place. My proposal is to expand upon policies like the Shaanxi Province Regional Law This would include locals on the conservation and preservation efforts, so they would also have a stake and be participating in making sure that the areas are being protected and people who shouldn't be there are not going into the areas. This would also give an opportunity for economic growth, potentially open up jobs for locals to work on the preservations. And here are my references. Thank you.